Welcome to the post-holiday edition of Kapowcast, episode 198. Woo! Today is a very special episode. We're going to talk about Star Wars.
Roll the scroll!
I am Mike, and joining me today is Tony Vance.
Hey.
And Jeff Jefferson.
Hello.
Thanks for remembering us.
You're welcome. 50% of the time, I remember every time.
That makes no sense. One of the problems is we're recording this very close to our last recording, so not a lot news-wise has happened, so there's not really a whole lot to talk about. I did see, and this could easily be a segue, Disney will be releasing a 27 disc 4K Blu-ray set of the Star Wars Skywalker saga.
What's that?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Jeff. It's episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Isn't that just the Star Wars?
It's minus Rogue One and Solo.
Yeah, but nobody cares about those.
True, but
Wait, you said 24 discs.
27 discs.
That's only 9 movies. What's the
Special
rest?
features and shit, man.
Wow. Does it have the...
But it's gonna have 4K discs and Bluray discs.
Oh, okay. So
but
that's
presumably
18.
not the original cuts of the films.
Nope.
See,
Not even
I'm not
worth
doing it.
I'm not doing
even
it, no.
worth it.
No
Not
way.
worth it in the slightest.
I've said 100 times that I will not purchase them until they give me the original cuts.
George Lucas is haunting us from beyond the grave, just like Palpatine.
He's not dead.
Well, you know, spiritually he is.
But no, like I saw it and I got really excited. I was like, because who doesn't like nice box sets?
Yeah.
You know, but then I thought about it and I was like, no, like if you're not gonna at least have like an alternate cut, like you don't even have to be just give us an alternate cut, an alternate version of the original. Don't tell me it can't be done, because it's fucking bullshit, because I have it on DVD. You can't tell me you can't do it.
Well, the thing is, you can't, because they're contractually obligated. It was part of the selling of LucasArts, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I believe it was.
I have no idea about any of it.
I believe George Lucas specifically said you can't release the original cut of the films as part of the selling
Which
of
is
the franchise.
just mind-boggling if that's true.
He's a twat.
And you know what the thing is I would even be okay if it was just like the first special edition. Like I didn't find that as offensive as most people. Like a lot of people took great offense to it. I didn't really bother. I was young and I didn't know any better. So I just kind of was like, eh.
You have to refresh my memory.
It was when they re-released it in like 97. That's when they first did like the special edition. That was the first iteration of it.
Upgraded effects. And
Upgraded
stuff, and then
effects,
the added scenes.
the added
that look
scenes.
Fucking weird.
Stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I would take that one. I think.
Me personally, I didn't jump off the boat until the most recent special edition. That's not what it's called, but
it is.
Where they went and they did more stuff like making the Ewoks blink and
I've never even seen that.
weird shit. Like it's probably the version that's on Disney Plus.
I want my Ewoks to have unblinking soulless stares.
But and I probably mentioned it here before. The thing that made me finally go, nope, I'm done, was when they released it on Blu-ray, and that's when they added the Ewoks blinking and whatever, like minuscule shit that's not really a big deal. But when they changed the end scene of Return of the Jedi, where Vader grabs the Emperor and throws him down the shaft, presumably to his death, he instead of him just doing it and just, you know, looking back and forth, and you feel the conflict, you can see it. Nope, it has to be spelled out for us. He yells no as he does
That's twice. No.
Isn't it? No. I was going to say, isn't it the no from the end of
it? Pretty much, yeah.
It's more or less identical.
Yeah, and that's when I was just like, no, you ruined that scene.
Not my Star Wars.
It is.
I was just mad when they replaced the ghost of Anakin, and then when
that was another big one. Yeah,
when they replaced Boba Fett's voice with Jango Fett.
I
was pretty pissed about that one.
I mean, it's just, you know, I've talked about this a million times. I really don't like when they alter classic films in any way, shape, or form. Like it harkens back to the whole recolorization that Turner used to do,
in which George Lucas testified against.
Yeah, called it butchering of classic film. Oh, but these are my films, and I don't give a shit about what the fans want. Like, oh,
yeah, he's a punk.
Patooey. That's how I feel.
He apparently skipped the premiere of this movie.
Oh, of course he did. He's a bitter old husk.
It's an interesting world we live in. I feel like we're going to ease our way into this review here. George Lucas was ridiculed and called out endlessly about special edition stuff and the prequels, you know, to the point where he finally said, this isn't fun for me anymore. Fuck it. I'm going to sell it.
Yeah.
And he sold it to the only people that could honestly afford it, the white slavers, as he
very problematic terminology,
as he so eloquently put it, of Disney.
Yeah.
And so we got our new trilogy. Force Awakens came out. Most people loved it. I was a big, huge fan of it. It seemed the minority of people did not like it. Last Jedi comes out and it's like, I don't even know what the word would be, because it's polarizing.
Yes.
Maybe, but even to that degree, like I feel like there's still a vast majority of people that dislike it than like it because it made a lot of strange decisions. And I find it funny because I was watching a lot of Star Wars reviews and stuff leading up to this, which is hilarious because.
Wait, you were watching before you seen the movie?
No, not for this movie,
okay.
but just like a past stuff.
I was going to say Star Wars is like the one movie you don't do that with.
And
Every other movie you do it with.
So there was an interview with Rian Johnson, an older interview, where basically what he said, and he was the director of Last Jedi, he basically said to him, making the perfect movie would be making a movie that people walked out of and there was people that loved it and people that hated it. His idea of making a good movie is making a polarizing movie. And when he made Last Jedi, his thing was, I'm going to subvert everyone's expectations. So they think I'm going to go this way, I'm going to go that way. And I feel when J.J. Abrams did Force Awakens, he set a lot of things up that, you know, were supposed to lead to something. And Rian Johnson was just kind of like, I want to do my Star Wars.
That's the problem.
I'm going to subvert expectations. And then we got a movie that not only did fans not like, the cast didn't like it. Mark Hamill has not shied away from it. John Boyega recently came out and said, I wasn't really a fan with a lot of decisions that they made on
he
that
was
film.
like not in most of the movie. Wasn't he like horribly injured for most of the film?
Well, not that, and he was on the stupid Canto Bike casino shit, which I maintain if was cut from the film would have, for one, it would have went a lot faster. And two, it probably wouldn't have been nearly as
I did rewatch it, and there was a reason they went, and that was to get the code breaker.
There was a reason they went, but just everything else that happened.
It was MacGuffin to give the actors screen time.
So go ahead.
I want to go back here because I was one of those people that hated Force Awakens and hated Last Jedi. And I told you I rewatched them.
He hates all of them.
I rewatched them, and Force Awakens is not nearly as bad as I originally had.
You had you had some stuff spoiled for you when you went to go see it.
There was that, and like after I got out of the Rise of Skywalker, I was like, why didn't I like it? And I think honestly, it wasn't so much the spoiler part because it was kind of just one of those things at that moment in time. Whatever, I'll get over it. I can get over the factor that big giveaway was spoiled for me. But I think it was the mass marketing of the movie. The factor I could not turn away. I can't turn left or right without seeing
Star Wars oranges, Star Wars water.
Yeah, and it pissed me off. Like I was just like, it's fucking everywhere. I get it. There's
I saw
Star
it
Wars.
at Michael's when I was shopping at an arts and crafts store.
There was so much, and there was so much praise for it too. Like if you were on social media when Force Awakens came out, the amount of praise it was getting. So once again, now your expectations are being set.
Yep.
That's the reason why I've never watched a lot of stuff. Is because people and we've talked about this before. Like you oversell something to somebody, their expectations are then heightened, and it becomes impossible for something to meet or surpass.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I even rewatched Last Jedi, and I didn't think it was as bad as I originally remember it either. There was weird shit happening, but other than that, I was like, okay, it wasn't as bad as I originally remember.
So when Last Jedi came out, the Star Wars fans became more. What's the word I'm looking for?
Toxic.
Yeah, that'll work.
Didn't think it was possible
than usual. Like,
which is saying a lot.
And here's the thing that I've noticed, and you guys can say I'm wrong if you want.
We will.
But to me, for whatever reason, with Star Wars stuff, it just can't be like, oh yeah, that wasn't a good movie. It becomes this. It becomes this finger pointing game of George Lucas ruined it, Kathleen Kennedy ruined it, Disney ruined it, Rian Johnson, J.J. Abrams, you ruined it. You ruined my Star Wars. Could it be it was just a bad movie?
Yeah. Well, no, it's I mean, I've said that about Star Wars fans forever.
They're just like Star Trek fans.
I think they're one of the most toxic fandoms. Like, I just think it's disgusting. I think the fandom itself ruins a lot of it for me. You know, it's just you got both sides of the coin. You got the people that you just said, then you have the Star Wars apologists, and it's just like, no, like it was a bad movie. Just say it was a bad movie. Don't just sit there and go, well, you know, this is the stuff that went wrong, but other than that, it was a really good movie. No, you just list like 90% of the movie. It means it's a bad movie. Like just
move on. Like,
just come to terms with it.
It doesn't have to be this finger pointing game of, you ruined my childhood. You ruined Star Wars. Star Wars is ruined for me.
You didn't see me saying that about Ghostbusters.
Maybe Star Wars is ruined for you because of you. Maybe it's not Star Wars that's changed or that's different. Maybe it's you.
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely. It's like taste buds, right?
Yeah.
Your taste buds change every 7 years.
I like onions.
I used to hate blue cheese.
Yeah, I used to hate blue cheese. I used to hate onions.
Yeah.
I used to hate spicy food, if you can believe that.
I don't. So basically, Rian Johnson left Star Wars kind of in shambles.
Yep.
He made the movie that he wanted to make without consideration of where it was going next, or without consideration of what J.J. Abrams, love him or hate him, set up.
Yeah.
He just kind of went and did his own thing, and like even like to a degree, like The Last Jedi just felt like an ending. Like it didn't feel like ended on a cliffhanger. It just felt bleh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Disney did the only thing they knew that they could. They went back to J.J. Abrams and they're like, please fix our Star Wars. And he had this daunting task of
taking a continuity that had been ripped
Yes.
to shreds. That was already milked very dry.
Milked.
All the blue titty milk they could get out of it at this point was almost gone. So he was still stuck having to do this task.
Yeah.
And I think, in my opinion, he did the best he could with what the tools he had.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. Like with what he had to do, the job he had, I think he pulled it off without doing something as short as going, it was all a dream.
Yeah.
Like, which I didn't want them to do. Like,
I kind of wanted to have the scrolling yellow text. The last movie didn't happen.
it's been a bad fever dream of Finn's.
Yes. She wakes up and this is what's going on right now.
But he, I kind of said, I was like, I don't want them to do that. Like a lot of people are like, oh, they're going to retcon The Last Jedi completely.
No, that's a bad.
No,
You
that
can't
would
just
be
pretend it didn't
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
And some people are arguing that like they did do that. I don't think they did.
No, I mean, they're doing the whole, Marvel route where you just ignore stuff you don't like and
Tweak things you did.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like I said, I think for what they had to work with and in all aspects, I had a really good time. Unlike Last Jedi, when I seen it, there was a lot of parts where I was just like, what's happening?
Yeah.
I was, into it. It was a lot of movie.
It seemed
2.5 hours, right?
Was it
2 hours,
22?
20 once. Yeah.
okay. All right.
It was a lot of movie. They had to fit a lot in there.
It didn't seem as long as The Last Jedi, though, in my opinion.
It did not, because
Although The Last Jedi was about 2 hours and 15 minutes, I think.
The Last Jedi was 2.5 hours long.
What? I thought this was the longest one.
Nope. Last Jedi was 2:30.
Wow.
Yep.
Felt like longer.
I thought it was cool that, you had your main characters all together again, actually interacting.
Yeah.
And not having them all on different, side
4
quests.
different, subplots. Like what was wrong with the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Like people just don't fucking learn, man.
But no, I mean, without, getting too crazy into spoilers, obviously, yet, I liked it. I liked what they did. I felt like it was a good ending. If this is the end of the quote unquote Skywalker saga.
Hopefully.
Is it though?
Is it hopeful that it is, or will it be?
I mean,
Both.
I hope that they stop having main Star Wars flagship films like that, because I think it's been brought to an end. They have nowhere to go but down at this point. I don't really think they can continue the franchise well, because they can't really do it with any of the original cast members at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them you still can. We're not getting into spoiler territory, but yeah, I feel like it's been brought to a conclusion. You could have the occasional side movie if you want, but I don't think you should just keep going with Rey and Finn and, I don't know.
I mean,
That's just my
people
opinion.
said that Return of the Jedi was a definitive ending.
I thought it was too.
A lot of people think it is. Like,
Yeah.
that's I've seen. Have you seen the one? It's a panel from Watchmen where Dr. Manhattan's sitting on the moon and he's like,
Yes.
May whatever 1983, the conclusion of the Star Wars saga is here with Return of the Jedi. And then it's like May whatever 200003, the conclusion of the Star Wars saga. December the conclusion of the Star Wars saga.
Yeah, no shit, man.
I mean, and that's true. Like they're doing this whole like the end of the saga, the end. I'm like, I went through this already once.
3 times.
Well, I wasn't alive for
Well, but we still
Return of the Jedi.
you still seen them when you were a kid.
But I didn't go like I didn't live through like the marketing of like the end of the saga,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I was told this is it by
Yeah.
my parents. This is the last one.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, that makes sense. And they lied to me.
I don't know. Without getting into too much, I mean, I guess how do you guys feel?
Who's going first? Me?
Were you satisfied with the ending?
I mean, like I said, I think they did the best they could with what they had. I wasn't really a big fan of them bringing back the Star Wars franchise in the first place. I think it's a gigantic cash grab. It's just there to make money. None of the movies really felt like a Star Wars movie to me. The only aspects that were literal carbon copies of parts of other Star Wars movies that they try to recreate. I think they did to less of a successful degree. It did some things right, but a lot of the plot was a little thin to me. Like there was like 4 or 5 MacGuffins where there's like, well, we found this object. It's leading us to this object. And now we're facing this problem. But now we have to use this object to get to this object. But this object we can't translate yet. But now we're having a problem with C-3PO. So we have to go here. And then, like it just seemed like a lot of jumping around for the sake of progressing the film.
There was a lot. I will agree.
It was a lot because like I said, they almost had to make up for a sequel that never happened.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not even that, but a sequel that like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Like it was 2.5 hours, but
They just stopped the trilogy cold in its tracks.
Yeah, I mean,
this movie just played catch up the entire time.
there wasn't much like plot advancement through The Last Jedi.
No, not at all.
It was literally just like
Well, we have
Rey's on an island with Luke.
Yeah.
They're doing a slow space chase.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything to progress the character stories.
yeah. I will say that The Last Jedi is better than Phantom Menace. I've been seeing a lot of lists of like
People's favorite Star Wars. Of
and
course.
people put Last Jedi then Phantom Menace. I'm like, no. I love Darth Maul as much as the next guy, but not even him could save that movie. Like Phantom Menace, I don't watch the prequels. I don't watch them at all. Maybe Revenge of the Sith. Maybe. It's a hard maybe.
What's funny is if you cut out, like, let's just cut out the original trilogy. Because the original trilogy was limited by the products of its time, of what it could do and couldn't do. Now there's almost, I mean, even, back when the prequels came out, there was almost an endless, you had this, it was easier to do these things. But if you compared that trilogy to this trilogy, it's just so bizarre because every time I go and watch like any of the prequel trilogy, I'm just like, this looks like a fucking video game.
It looks terrible.
It looks so bad because everything is CGI.
Everything's done on green screen, all green screen stages.
Blue screen.
It's so,
they did blue screen for that, not green.
Yes, it's so bad. It's so like jarring.
Would you call it jarring?
I call it jarring. Yes, absolutely.
Did you complete your thought, Jeff?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm glad they made it so they could kind of like salvage or scavenge, no pun intended, what was left, of this trilogy. I mean, I didn't come in with the most, I wasn't even interested in seeing it. I got asked by a group of friends. So I was like, oh, that sounds like, dude, a little group outing. Otherwise, I wouldn't have seen it.
The most important thing is when I left, I didn't feel like I did after The Last Jedi.
Oh, dude, I was pissed.
After The Last Jedi, I just remember leaving, I was like, I don't think I like that movie.
Even like with the whole, honeymoon effect of just watching a movie for something really pumped up for.
That wasn't
didn't
there.
Save it. No.
How about you?
I'll say that I did enjoy the movie. I did the thing that you do when you're a kid and you hold your pee through like 2 hours of the movie. So like the fact
I was
that
worried I was gonna have to poop because I just ate Olive Garden.
It's a lot of grease.
Oh, my colon's all greasy.
Too many breadsticks.
I was like, please just hold on.
Getting the Bee Gees.
I never heard that Star Wars alien before.
But no, there was a lot of things that I actually enjoyed a lot more in this one. It seemed to my amateur trained eye that there was more practical effects in this movie than there was CGI. Like it was CGI assisted and not so much like CGI driven, which was exciting. Especially there's a part where a ship gets hovered up from the depths of dead where it lay.
Using some sort of force of some sort.
Yeah, I'm trying to do this, but that looked practical.
It looked a lot like...
and I was like, is that a practical effect? Oh, shit, you just fucking won me. You won me so hard by doing that practically. And so that was exciting. I agree with you guys. Like J.J. Abrams pretty much did what he could to salvage what was left after The Last Jedi. And some things kind of took me by surprise. There was a couple of things that I was like, whoa, no way.
Lesbians.
There was that. I'm not going to lie. I'm not closed-minded by any means, but it's not one of those things that like kind of flourishes with something like this. Like it's not like, whoa, holy crap. They two girls just kissed on screen. Wow, that's crazy.
But they don't have two different aliens making out.
It's true.
I want to see Lando make out with that slug guy that was like, whoa, on the Millennium Falcon.
There was a lot of cool new introductions to characters that I wish I would see more of.
Yes, that was one great part. They introduced two characters specifically that I'm like, oh man, I hope they're in the rest of the movie. Well, there was one that especially where I was like, oh man, I hope she's in the rest of the movie.
Okay, yeah.
And then she wasn't, and I was like, oh, that's
why even bring,
yeah.
They brought in a lot of...
She looked cool too.
Oh, yeah.
She looked like she was in a Daft Punk or something.
I enjoyed Poe a lot more in this one.
Oh, he was rough in the Last
Jedi was really annoying.
It was just like, hey, let's take the Marvel formula and make it a person and throw it in Star Wars.
And do you think I didn't find this heavy handing. I think it was a very interesting undertone to the movie. And me personally, it spoke to me in some ways where it's like, you're not what you start out like. You don't have to be the person that you thought you were going to be.
Okay.
Like when you find out Poe used to be Trade Spice.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Is that like that synthetic marijuana that used to get at gas stations all the time?
And then, of course, you have Finn, who used to be a stormtrooper. And then we'll get to Rey later in the spoilers. But I just thought that was that really cool undertone. Is like, just because this is how it was, isn't how it has to be.
I will say,
because you're in a shitty previous movie doesn't mean this movie has to be shitty.
I will say I still don't like the Finn character. He does things that are good, but for the most part, the factor that he's so concerned about Rey's
he's like a damsel in distress, man. He's
Rey! And I'm like, dude, she's like the master of all Jedi. Fucking
what are you
calm
gonna
the
do?
fuck down.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to worry about her if you haven't seen already. Obviously, you're probably partially blind because you're just totally ignoring everything you're seeing with your own two eyes.
Who was the one that saved your ass at the end of The Force Awakens?
Exactly.
When you got your spine nearly sliced open.
And it's just like, dude, shut the fuck up. Really? I mean, I was really hoping that after the
He would die.
No. After The Last Jedi, his attention would go more towards Rose.
I hate Rose.
But it was still, I was just kind of like, damn it, dude, you're still fucking in love with Rey. And I don't know. It's just, it's a weird kind of
they didn't do anything to develop his character after the first film.
Yeah. He's this weird kind of friend zoned dude. And it's just I feel bad for you, but at the same time, you're doing this to yourself. So
they gave him, I don't know if this is a spoiler, they did give him presumably a character to focus more on later in the film. No, okay. It was me. It was me all along, Austin.
And while we're talking about characters, might as well talk about Rey, which I think I enjoyed her very much in this movie. One of the gripes with Rey has always been that she's like a quote unquote Mary Sue.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I thought you saw a lot of cracks and imperfections in her as a character, especially with the part with the floating ship. There was, you saw like, you kind of saw her lose control and like act emotionally, and a fight she has with Kylo Ren later on, like you see that too. Like, but yeah, I once again, I really, not that I've ever had an issue with the Rey character. I've found her really enjoyable, really likable.
For the most part, I agree with you. I think The Last Jedi and her stance in that movie and the back and forth between her and Kylo, and it was rather annoying. Like there's some sort of thing like driving these two together, and I'm just like, all right, can we just like have a little bit more on the side happening here instead of these weird offshoot looks where like you're in one place and he's in another, and you're like,
I don't like Kylo Ren. I just don't find him to be a very fascinating character. Like, it seems like he's trying really hard. I don't know if that's supposed to be part of the character. Well, I guess it makes sense that he'd be part of the character.
I'd say after this one, I liked Kylo. I liked Kylo.
And just
because it kind of
he's got a mask. He doesn't have a mask. He's got a mask again because they want to sell more action figures. It looks all stupid.
No,
It's
but
got
see,
cracks in it.
I was pissed. I was pissed when he broke it in The Last Jedi.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, dude, that was like your symbol. Like you just fucked everything to hell by breaking your helmet.
It perfectly symbolized the film.
It did.
Yeah.
And then him putting it back together symbolizes it.
Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's back together. All right, it did what I could.
I was sitting there the most time. Is his helmet ever going to cool off? Like, it's still.
It looked like one of those like coffee tables where you glue pieces of wood together with brightly colored resin.
Yeah, agreed.
So like tacky and stupid.
But I would say for the most part, I enjoyed this film. I liked it. I liked all the callbacks. I loved the space battle at the end.
Yeah.
That was really cool. There was parts where I was actually moved.
Oh my gosh, there was a few parts that I could hear Steph next to me sniffling.
Yeah. Oh,
There was
a cop out that got me real hard. I was like, no.
There was only one part that actually almost got me, and we'll get.
Oh yeah.
But there was one part where even at the end I was like, oh fuck. But yeah, let's dive into this. Spoilers.
Spoiler territory in 3, 2, 1. Iron Man dies.
So they all fucking die.
Yep.
No, I don't even know where to begin.
I guess
At the beginning is a good spot.
Yeah.
The scroll was really short and very to the point.
It was.
It was probably the most to the point I've ever seen a Star Wars scroll ever.
And you start off with, Kylo Ren going to this weird Sith planet.
Yeah.
Where we meet
the planet of symbolism.
Oh my shit. The Emperor looked like the fucking nun.
Dude, his look was awesome. I
liked
loved it. Yeah, it was so creepy and rather edgy even for being a Star Wars movie.
It was cloning, right? That's why he's still alive.
There's some vaguely hinted at dark art of the Force.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
knows?
I'm sure I thought I
It was
interpreted
convenience, all right?
I interpreted it as the almighty Sith power that he didn't actually die.
And you find out he was apparently behind Snoke.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
was
there was like a
that
snow clone sitting in there.
That was like the first instant of like, and let's fix this. And I was like, there's things in here that you just have to go with.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to be like,
Well, shit, there's a ton of stuff like, Leia just dying in the movie because, well, she just died in real life.
Yeah, it's true. Very true.
Like, there's a lot of stuff that really held this movie, like, down its ability to perform.
How did you feel about like those spliced scenes with her, with Carrie Fisher, like interacting with the characters? Because that was all deleted
Done in
scenes
post,
from like The Force Awakens, I think, and stuff like, I don't know if it was stuff from The Last Jedi, but
It was as well done as they could have made it.
I feel like to me, it was noticeable.
It was definitely noticeable.
Because I knew how they did it. And like, I don't know if it's one of those things, like, you know how the trick's done, so you know what to look for and how to spot it.
Yeah.
But I think,
well, I mean, if you didn't know Carrie Fisher died, you would have just been like, well, why did she just die unceremoniously like that? That's kind of weird.
They, the way they had those scenes in there, I was like, well, that's pretty fucking creative. Like,
It was.
hats off. Like, you guys had a handicap and you were like, let's fucking.
It was one of those things where I seen it and I'm sitting there watching it and I didn't notice it first off. Like, I was just kind of like, yeah, she died, but maybe they got a couple things filmed before, it happened. And I was just like, I started catching on. I think after the third or fourth time it came up, I was like, this cut feels weird. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, they did something. They did something here to doctor it up. What did you think? Speaking of Leia, what did you guys think at the end with the de-aged cam?
I thought those looked really good.
That was my favorite part.
But they did the best thing they could have done, which is they had it at night.
Yes.
They had it darkly lit. Like, that's
wearing a helmet that covered a lot of their faces.
Yeah, that was a really good
Luke
move.
looked better than Leia did.
I think that they probably I would assume they had Hamill actually stand in for that part.
Yeah.
They probably used Billy Lord for
Oh, they might have. Billy Lord looked great. She always looks
Carrie
great.
Fisher's daughter.
Oh yeah. Okay.
She was in Scream Queens.
Yes.
Chanel #3.
I thought that was really cool, like, because you find out in the beginning, you find out that Leia's been training Rey. And I was kind of like, oh, really? I didn't realize she had done training of any sorts.
Right.
And neither did anyone else because they didn't reveal it until then.
Yeah, and I was just like, all right, well, cool.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense continuity wise because
Yeah.
they hinted that she would begin Jedi training after the end of the Return of the Jedi because she, they knew that she had the Force
Yeah,
and everything,
right.
or the potential to wield the Force.
It would be a natural progression.
Yeah.
It made more sense than a lot of things they've done in these 3 movies.
And it's cool you see her lightsaber. So I imagine now they're gonna have Princess Leia replica lightsabers.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When they showed that part and you see Luke with the green one and you see Leia's silhouette, I was like, oh shit, is she gonna have a yellow one? Because she had a yellow one in the books, and she had a blue one. I was like bummed. I was like, oh, but then at the end.
And at the end, I actually really like that saber at the end.
I liked how she turned it on. It was like a weird spinny thing, like
Yeah.
she just spun it over.
I'm not sure. Like it almost looked like it was like a doctored version of like 3 different sabers.
It's somebody said that it's made from her staff.
What?
That she used her staff, her big staff that she's had in previous movies. Yeah.
How,
Oh, speaking of
I didn't think a staff could hold like house a.
Well, I mean, she could
power
have used
gem
the
like
parts
that.
for it.
Still.
Speaking of which, that total cock tease with her Sith version of herself was just like a.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be something like that.
Yeah. I had a
I knew it
feeling.
was too, but still.
Speaking of, so
Oh, and then she did a Bilbo Baggins, part when she had sharp teeth. Oh, I was dying.
one of the other gripes with The Last Jedi that this film tried to course correct is finding out Rey's parents were nobody.
Yeah.
Or as Adam Driver, parents are nobody. You have no part in the story. You find out that they kind of are.
Like, yeah, they are.
When I said nobody, they did the whole
Yeah.
political doublespeak.
Basically,
They had to be nobody.
You found out that she is the granddaughter of Palpatine.
That was a good twist. I
Who
liked
the
it.
fuck boned Palpatine?
Well, okay, so Janelle said the same thing. Like, who the hell would fuck that guy? But the way I see it is like, okay, what if like he did this before? Or I have 2 things: before he got all fucking mutilated, and then because it's his granddaughter, so obviously there's some aging there. Anyways, or he totally virgin married somebody.
Oh, use the Force, use midichlorians.
Use the dark forces to impregnate some rando.
Well, I mean,
How about we go back to my place?
like that's the thing. Like they never alluded to him.
Do it. Unlimited power.
Then 30 seconds later, too weak. No. Okay.
That's good.
But no, it was really weird. Like when I found out, I was just kind of like, oh shit. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I was like, that's cool. And once again, now you're on this weird dynamic where you have, now a Skywalker is a bad guy and a Palpatine's the good guy. It's like this weird, like
Role
flip.
reversal.
Yeah. But I was 100% on board with that because once again, that was one of those things that like they built up in The Force Awakens and in The Last Jedi, they're just like, nah.
Yeah.
By the way, Ryan Johnson has like one of the most fucking weaselly laughs. He's like,
Oh, that's a laugh of a person you want to punch in the mouth.
it is.
True.
We had Han Solo making a cameo appearance.
That was one of the things that blew me away.
A lot of cameos in voices at that.
Oh yeah, the voices at the end.
Liam Neeson, Frank Oz,
Samuel L. Jackson,
Samuel L. Jackson,
And you had the ones at
Freddie
the
Prinze
beginning.
Jr.
Freddie Prinze.
Was it?
Jr.
Was it?
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
He did one in there?
Yeah, he did his character from
Oh, cool.
Rebels. Yeah.
I missed it. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Dude, you ever seen Freddie Prince's tirade about the Force?
No.
Oh, you should look it up.
Is it the same kind of tirades we have?
Yeah, kinda. Except he speaks from like a level of authority because obviously he's had to voice act a Star Wars character, so he has to know about the shit because I think that was still when Lucas had it. So we all know how Lucas
He's
is
a
like
crazy man.
Yes, and he's like, "There's this, and this, and these are the rules of the Force." That's my George Lucas.
I like it.
So, and there are some people too that have seen the movie. I've watched a couple YouTube reviews of people that I'm actually fans of, and usually after I watch, I end up sharing like someone the same opinion with. Totally opposite on this movie. There are people that are like this. Like it's like their dog got shot.
Jeez.
They're like, I felt nothing.
I didn't feel anything when my dog got shot either.
Well, look at this review trumps it because you got a guy sitting here that like I talked so much fucking shit about the last 2 movies, and I'm saying I like this movie.
It's weird, and
This movie held more heart and feeling of the original saga than both the other movies combined.
I've seen a few people to be big Star Wars fans say like, I don't know what to think after this. Like I feel nothing. They wrecked it. And it seems a few that I've noticed were fans of The Last Jedi. So I don't know But it's definitely been one of those things where I've been seeing people are either loving it or absolutely hating it, which I understand not liking something. I totally get that. But I do feel that there are a good portion of people that were going into this determined to hate it.
Yeah.
I feel like, and it's just as bad as the people that say like, I got a new Star Wars movie, so I'm just happy as a pig in shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's also just as bad. Like, but I do think that some people are being a little over dramatic.
I haven't watched any reviews on it other than the short not MySpace, short Facebook statuses of people commenting about it. Mostly just saying that it was trash and yada yada yada. I haven't seen people being positive with it other than just going back and saying, if you didn't like it, that's okay, but you don't have to be a complete dick about it.
Yeah.
There was people on my timeline spoiling everything. Luckily for me, I didn't look at all of it. So
That's just mean.
Oh yeah, it's completely stupid and just
Petty.
disheartening. And it goes back to what I say about the fan base itself. It's just a bunch of fucking
Toxic.
a bunch of
Like the song
crybaby
by Britney
boo-hoos.
Spears,
It's like a snake eating its own tail.
No.
the Ouroboros.
Don't compare them to Britney Spears. That's actually a good song.
So Tony,
It's
did
a
you?
great song with a great music video.
I agree.
Nobody here legitimately thought that Chewbacca died when Rey
No,
accidentally used
like
the
why
Force
even
lightning.
do that? It was stupid.
You did.
I did. Chewie was going to be the death. Like if they killed Chewie, I said
We
this.
riot.
I said it in Force Awakens. I said if Chewie dies, that's going to be the one that gets me.
Which is funny because like now, like in the movie continuity now, like all the main characters are dead pretty much except for Chewie.
Yeah.
And in the books, he was the only one that did die.
Yeah, it was no, it totally got me. Like
Sucker.
well, hold on. So like that whole scene with her, like that shit was crazy. By the way, where she's holding and like pulling back that ship. And then all of a sudden Kylo provokes her and she uses Sith lightning. Like that part, I was like, whoa. And then the ship blows up and I was like, no. And I was like, oh my God, too much is happening right now. It's here.
One of the reviews I'd seen, it was a spoiler free review, but they had mentioned they were like, there's going to be something in this that Rey does. And you're like, how the fuck? How? I'm assuming it's that part. And I'm like, it makes perfect sense. Like,
Yeah.
she was acting out of emotion. She was trying, and she's clearly, obviously, as we found out, she's a Palpatine.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't that happen?
Well, it's weird, right? Because like the whole view on the Force is like anybody has the possibility of having Force lightning. It's just the factor of you giving in to your emotion. So I don't see how that's such a far grasp.
I don't think it was a far grasp at all. I didn't find it very far in the way the story was told, and after you found things out, for me at least, I was like, oh.
Well, I mean, that wasn't after all the stretches that they put in these three films. That's the thing that you're getting tied
like,
out
legitimately, like, yeah, there's so much far-fetching things in these movies, and like I said, I just feel like people went in with like, I'm not gonna like this. I'm gonna pick it apart because I'm sick of Disney. I'm sick of their Star Wars.
What are you talking about? Did you see Star
I feel like
Wars
you got me in a corner right now. Got me in a box.
Got you pegged.
It's been pegging me hard.
Jeff is sexually frustrated.
So the scene for me that really got me at the end was when what's her name gave Chewie the medal.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that
There you go. I guess you're not just some sort of animal freak and you deserve to be praised like the rest of us.
I was like, because every time, like for years, every time I watched Star Wars, I'm like, why the fuck didn't he get a medal?
Yeah.
Because he's just a fucking Wookiee, all right?
It was racism.
He's not even wearing pants.
But when
There's a ton of racism in Star Wars. The way they treat droids, holy shit. They're just slaves. They're literally slaves. You can kill one, it doesn't even matter. Sorry, a little side tangent. But
right.
So you don't see eye to eye with the Mandalorian?
no, he's a bigot, all right? Great show.
I think
Flawed main character.
I think something happened involving a droid that makes him not trust
A droid
Well, yeah, he
banged
had-
his girlfriend.
Didn't they have battle droids like raid his wherever it was he lived when he was a
Ooh,
kid?
maybe. And
I thought that was part of the flashback. Yeah.
I just seen fucking blasters. That's all. I didn't see who was shooting them.
I'm not too big into the extended lore of the Mandalorian. I've only seen the show, so
Oh, it's just a bunch of orphans, essentially.
bunch of Batman.
A bunch of Batman.
Also, too, but Chewie's initial reaction to when finding out Leia died.
Yeah.
Oh, like he like lost his shit, and I was like,
All of his friends are dying.
Yeah, you know
oh,
the
he's like 200 and some years old.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I mean, like in Force Awakens, he handled Han's death rather well for even witnessing it. Luke's he wasn't present for, and I think he was just holding it together. And then when Leia died, it was so much that he lost his.
thank
his
God
shit.
Lando made it out alive.
Oh, I know, right?
The real reason Chewbacca was so sad was because he was the one who introduced Leia to cocaine. I was just waiting to use that one.
You're terrible.
Shit.
You're a terrible man.
Let the hate flow through you.
You're the cardboard cut on the palm of humanity. You don't hurt at first, but after a while, it stings like a motherfucker.
The Zori Bliss character that Poe interacted with.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed, like I said, that was one of the characters I really enjoyed. And I was really bummed that she didn't come along for the rest of the adventure. It was just like a pit stop, like, and gone. And then like when they blew up the one planet, I was like, was that the planet she was on?
I was thinking the same thing.
Was it?
It
It
was.
looked like it.
I thought it was.
It was, but luckily she apparently
Oh
had already
no, that
gotten off.
planet I'd been so emotionally invested in for 10 minutes.
Well, that was where Poe originally that was his original stopping ground.
Well, I
Wasn't
mean,
it?
I don't like Poe anyway, so.
When
Do you like anything?
I'm about to say, I'm getting the feeling Jeff actually really didn't like it.
I mean, I didn't like it, no. But I like that.
No,
I
I
like
meant-
that one droid with the one wheel.
Oh, Dio?
Yeah.
I love Dio.
Dio was great.
He reminds me of Sebastian, my cat.
I like the one slug walrus that went, whoa, and the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah,
I like
well-
those two lesbians.
When they first power up Dio and he goes, hello, and then like they go to like bend down to greet him, he goes, no, thank you. And he like rolls away. Like me and Janelle both turned like, that's Sebastian. So yeah.
What I thought was really cool was with Zori Bliss, even though they had a named actress playing her, they didn't take her helmet off.
Yeah, the one Star Wars character that did
And I was
this
like-
new trilogy.
Yep.
Good job,
Yeah,
Star
no,
Wars.
I was happy about that. I did like how the visor went up and they made eye contact because
She looked cool with the visor up too.
I think that an exchange of that manner needs eye contact because obviously there's emotion in the eyes. So it was one of those things where it needed to happen. But I'm damn glad she didn't remove her helmet. I was very psyched about that.
If she did, I was going to expect like her Felicity hair to come out, like she takes it off.
It did spill out a little bit.
when she first came on, I did a double take because at first it sounded like Karen Gillian, and I was like, no,
No,
like, I
she's
didn't
not
see
6
it.
foot tall.
I didn't see anything about Karen Gillian in there, and then I looked it up after we were out, and I was like, what? I was like, that's awesome.
How about Palpatine having gross, stubby skeleton fingers that looked like he had leprosy?
I loved the way they did Palpatine, like
I really liked after he had
drain their life force.
sucked their souls out of their belly buttons or whatever. I liked how he had the glowing red eyes again. That was really, or the weird yellowy orangey eyes.
Oh yeah.
That I really liked because I was like, something's missing, and it's the milky eyes look cool, but it was
weird
he didn't look
because-
as menacing, and then they had that. I was like, there it is,
Well, yeah, they even went like they added like when he did that, he suddenly had his more emperor like look.
jowly,
Yeah.
Instead of just looking like a corpse that was bloating in a creek or something.
Yeah, and had all the black shit around his eyes, and like he looked like the nun.
He did.
But it was incredibly creepy and unsettling.
I loved it. It was fantastic. That was probably like my biggest biggest takeaway for it was that Palpatine was alive. Palpatine looked creepy as all shit, and then Palpatine like one-upped him. Well, obviously before the comeback, because you can't end a movie on a downer note twice.
No, especially not when it's the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last one, quote unquote.
But there
Quote,
was
unquote.
I had no idea how that ending battle between the three of those guys was going to play out. I half-heartedly expected Kylo Ren to backstab her.
I didn't.
I was just like, I think he maybe
He's so wishy-washy.
he is. He's
Yeah.
very wishy-washy. That's why I thought, like, I was like, is he going to go back?
I know
No.
what to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
When he once he threw his lightsaber,
That was
hilt
stupid.
one. Once he threw that, I was like, oh no, I was like, he's done.
I was like, how you gonna even fight now?
Well, as soon as Rey had two lightsabers,
Yeah.
she did the whole thing where you put two fingers in a link and then you put them behind your head and then you take them apart.
It was cool that they finally used that whatever it was that they had with that projecting where
Yeah.
they used it
The
actually
force plot device
as
teleportation
Yeah, I really was just like, what the fuck is the point of all this?
to progress the plot
Well, not
to make
even-
up for lost time because the other movie had to be completely.
well, they did it in The Last Jedi too, or they did it.
Oh,
in
the two-way model. Well, they didn't do like literal teleportation.
yeah.
did they?
Well, there has to be an evolution of the
Yeah.
whole thing. It can't just be like boop and then. But yeah, like I when she put it behind her back, I go, oh, here we go.
that was pretty much the only continuing element that they had
Through the whole, like, three movies.
Yeah, that actually went somewhere.
I wonder if that's like when other characters have sensed a disturbance in the Force, like if that was kind of like the beginning stages, like you sense it, and then you can have like a two-way conversation where one of you is in one spot, one of you is in
What if
the
you're
other.
taking a shit?
Well, I would politely ask them to leave
Could you
until I
put
was
this on
finished.
voicemail, please?
You can see me, but I can't see you. Well, yeah, because I'm pooping. I'm not allowing you to see me. I'm in a very sensitive spot currently, and I don't feel like our relationship's at that point.
I don't think I've ever let anyone watch me poop, despite many people asking.
I was happy to see Luke back as a Force ghost.
Me too.
Yeah.
I liked how he caught the lightsaber and was like, "Bitch, what are you doing?"
Don't throw my shit in the fire.
God damn.
Another really like awesome callback at the very tail end when Rey goes back to the moisture farm. And I was
That's what I call
like,
my
Tatooine?
bedroom.
on Tatooine, yeah, I was like, this is so cool. And then she like buries the lightsabers. I was like, oh man, I would have kept those.
Probably worth like a lot of money, man.
It's worth a lot of space credits.
Get a lot of spice with that.
No, I I liked how she buried the sabers. It was a
True
nice
symbolism.
touch. Yeah, it was a nice touch.
She couldn't, I don't know, train a couple Padawans and give them the lightsabers.
Total, like, or here's what I was saying earlier. Since we're by this part, I'll bring it up now. This is what I was talking about. Like, did they really end this Skywalker saga? Because we find out that Rey takes up the Skywalker name. So like, technically,
I'm sure they'll be happy to milk more money out of this franchise.
Like, well, a lot of people that I know enjoy this new saga because they basically are, doing away with the Skywalker name. And like, I just see all these people that I talk to that are just so excited about this. And I don't see how it's so exciting that like you're getting rid of, this name that is
The main character of the previous franchise.
Yeah.
Skywalker is Star Wars.
Yeah. And
It's in the name of the fucking latest movie, for crying out loud.
and for Rey to go and be like, oh, I'm Rey Skywalker and take up the Skywalker name. Like, I just laughed my ass off when it happened. Cause like, I'm thinking all these people and going, you thought you were going to get rid of the Skywalker name?
You dumb bitch.
You stupid bitches.
But she's not really a Skywalker.
No, she's not, but really,
The Skywalker
They can always
bloodline's
reveal
actually
later
dead.
that it was.
what?
The Skywalker bloodline actually is dead.
Yeah, it is. It was dead. I was kind of
Unless Luke
taken
got any
away.
babies running
Hey man,
around.
that's what we thought about the Palpatine bloodline.
Yeah, that's true too. I was surprised that Kylo met his doom. I don't know if
His
that's
demise.
yeah. Like I guess
He became one with the Force.
he did become one with the Force, and the
What
fact
took Leia so long to become one with the Force?
I think she was holding out for Ben.
What, her corpse?
Yes.
Well, I think it was more like a Force coma. Like she collapsed.
Well, they
but-
said she was dead. They draped her. They put a sheet over her face.
Oh, I thought that was just to hold her concentration.
She went to go be one in the Force with Ben.
Yeah.
And Han. I don't know if Han. I don't think Han can come.
Nope.
I was supposed to say, what's the rules on that? Because like the Force is a synergy. Is that the right word?
It's a microscopic particle with a measurable amount.
That surrounds everything. So technically, like I guess if you believe in the Force, you can become one with the Force.
Well, I mean,
But only Jedi and Sith.
Finn
can
started
control.
getting Force feelings.
Yeah.
He's becoming Force sensitive
don't know.
conveniently.
Maybe that's another topic for another day.
I guess nitpicking isn't really. It's just funny because like people nitpick these films, including myself. There's literally a movie about space wizards.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there's literally magic in this movie, so don't concern yourself too much about that stuff. I mean, there's stuff I can nitpick all day, but then like space wizards, the space wizards with laser swords.
Yeah.
One of the first things I said to Steph when leaving the movie, I was like, I feel like I can watch The Last Jedi now and not be angry. I feel like I said, stopping short of wiping it out completely, they had shit to work. They had to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. They made something in the middle, and in the end, I was
Gas
happy with
station
it.
chicken salad.
Gas station chicken salad. And I was happy with it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I would watch it again.
I want to go see it again. I definitely want to go see it again. Like, even though, like I said, people said the plot feels very cluttered, I didn't feel like it was cluttered.
I totally thought they were going to light speed jump at the end, though. I thought that was a foreshadow at the beginning when Poe's light speed skipping through.
Was I the only one happy when Wedge showed up?
I was happy.
I saw like the old guy at the end, and I was like, ah, and like nobody else in the theater like said anything or did anything. I
Oh
was
no!
like,
Nobody really. Yeah, I don't think anybody really noticed in my theater either. I was like,
we noticed.
Sweet.
We noticed. I was happy when the fat psychic detective from Heroes was in it too.
when he died.
Yeah, Porkins the second.
Porkins the third.
Yeah.
there was another Porkins in what was it, Last Jedi?
That's
explodes.
true.
We don't know if it was a Porkins.
It looked like a Porkins.
All I know
Bloodline
that might be
it's
over.
most likely, yeah. The bloodline, the Porkins bloodline has been severed.
They're still not
The rise of Porkins, yeah.
I'm still waiting for Porkins, a Star Wars story.
Man, I would watch the fuck out of that. Just a bunch of fat fucking X-Wing pilots.
Like Tommy Boy in space.
You guys in the back, puking his guts out.
Captain Antilles, what did you do?
He bend the wing backwards and he's backing up. I'd watch that.
Oh, if only Chris Farley was still alive.
Yeah, but his Force Ghost can be in it.
Yeah, he could be Porkins' grandfather.
He can fall through the Force Ghost of a coffee
They can
table
make
or
him
something.
CGI.
Yep.
Or they can use deleted footage from his past movies.
Beverly Hills Ninja where he's swinging around and be turned into a lightsaber instead of the 3-part bow staff. Doing cartwheels.
Tony, your mission, if you choose to accept it.
Oh yeah, there's that really easy, well it's not easy to use, but there's like a lot of streamlined lightsaber programs that you can use to turn objects into lightsabers.
It's true.
To just have the scene from Beverly Hills Ninja. I'd watch that.
Shit. Oh my god.
Any hoozle.
Oh, I also teared up a little bit when the C-3PO. I thought 3PO was done for.
Nah, they
I
got him hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah,
You were really engrossed in the
I
film.
was
There's
pretty
like 3 or 4 fake out
I was
deaths.
like, it's just a fucking droid.
That's right.
See, that's the problem right there.
It's just how I was raised.
I mean, like, it was a different time, all right? I love how they're like, never underestimate a droid. They're just using them, you know, like, why even make them self-aware? It just seems fucked up to me. And they were all like being like, Poe was just being a dickhole to C-3PO the entire time.
Oh, yeah.
To be fair, 3PO was being kind of annoying.
He was by far the most annoying I've seen him in any of the Star Wars films.
I was about to say, that's kind of 3PO's MO, though, is just to be this snarky, I know everything droid.
Well, yeah, but he was lovable in the previous ones.
Was he?
Yes.
There's people that try to defend Jar Jar Binks by putting him up against C-3PO.
Well, yeah, but C-3PO isn't a black stereotype.
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah, there are tons of complaints. They were saying that Jar Jar Binks.
C-3PO is a black stereotype.
Yep. But no, Jar Jar Binks was a gay black caricature.
What? Okay, I hate the prequels, but I don't want, what? How? Where's the grasp with that?
Well, he's saying Misa, and like that's a lot like, you know, the
Oh
whole,
my, really?
yeah. Oh yeah, it's a lot like how minstrels used to talk back in the day.
Okay, I guess I just I don't know my shit.
Know your Binks.
Know your racist history.
So I know if I'm being racist or not.
Yeah, I guess.
What if I say that I enjoy Jar Jar Binks then? Does that make me racist or not racist?
Do you enjoy Jar Jar Binks?
I can't really tell you. I haven't seen Jar Jar Binks on,
He sucks.
on screen.
He was
since the
super
prequels.
annoying.
I think I've only seen the prequels once.
Big bull noise. Oh god, I had the bank too. Jesus Christ, it danced for 15 minutes.
Oh shit!
Anyways,
What'd you think about the little alien dude that rebooted 3PO?
Bib something.
yeah, they
I mean-
needed a baby Groot for the movie, so
Steph loved him.
yeah.
so
See, there you go.
I enjoyed him.
mission accomplished.
He was
Yeah.
like that drunk uncle,
The drunkle.
the drunkle.
She was sad when the planet got blown up because she thought he died.
I knew he didn't die. I knew he was going to come back on
That was
somebody's
the one
shoulder.
you did know.
Oh, yeah, same thing. Like it's the female grab in. Cute little alien. Yeah, but I buy into all that crap. Baby Yoda, baby
Baby
Groot.
Loda. Baby Loda.
Baby Loda.
Baby Yoda.
Baby Loda. But Baby Yoda, you know, he's not as annoying as like Baby Groot. I thought was a little too much. Baby Yoda's fine. He doesn't, you know, he just stands around looking cute. Occasionally uses the Force.
Oh wait, never mind. That was in the last episode. I was about to say something.
Oh yeah.
Good catch.
I was just trying.
He forced a fart.
He tried to force a fart and shat himself.
We've all been there.
What I think is cool with
The
Baby
whole,
Yoda.
the whole episode is them trying to find a new robe to fit him.
With Baby Yoda, you ever notice like when he makes like sounds, it literally just sounds like baby sounds.
Yeah, it's just
like
a
it's
baby
not like
sound.
some weird sound they made up. It literally just sounds like a baby.
I was kind of hoping it'd be like, you know, Frank Oz like noises.
But yeah, so Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker for me, it gets a passing grade. Will it be like end up being my favorite movie of the year? Probably not, but I'm happy with it. I'm okay with it. I don't have that feeling of emptiness that I had after The Last Jedi. So by all rights, they succeeded for me, whatever it was they were trying to do.
Make a fuckload of money.
And they have succeeded in that
Yeah,
too.
yep. They don't care. I mean, fuck. They didn't even care about the second one. They're just like, well, who cares? We still made a shitload of money.
They made a sweet Star Wars land while they were at it.
Yep.
Which, by the way, have you guys seen the footage of the new ride?
No.
Rise of the Resistance?
Nope.
Dude.
Is it good?
That ride looks awesome.
Let's go.
And there's a bunch of new technology in the ride itself. It's not on a track. It's all magnetized.
Wow. Kind of scary.
It's crazy. I highly suggest looking up videos if you haven't seen it.
Okay.
I'll be riding it come May
To work.
to work. Just take a right here. Is there anything else we made out?
Some lesbians.
There was lesbians. Some people were kind of turned off with the Force healing.
It was another
But
plot
that's-
device.
I just kind of always thought that was a thing.
I thought
I
that
don't know
was too.
if it was because of like
Space Jesus.
Space, yeah.
It was
I
in-
think that's actually the whole deal.
just because like it was a thing in like the Star Wars role playing game. Like,
Well, I mean,
you
you
could do
have
it.
to-
So I just kind of assumed like with everything they could do, like why couldn't they heal?
You have to have
wounds?
something to, you know, I mean, the Sith always had Force lightning, so they need a little something extra too, right?
It was it was always one of those things that, from my understanding, before this movie was it was limited. You couldn't do it like repeatedly.
to a giant worm in a sand pit.
Yeah, that was kind of
The
a waste.
giant worm was my favorite character, by the way.
That worm looked awesome.
It did.
I liked the way it looked. But it was limited. You couldn't do it all the time because you could only give so much life force before you yourself would run out.
Seemed like she
Kylo
ran
Ren.
out.
Like Kylo
Yeah.
Ren.
Is that why Obi-Wan didn't do it to Qui-Gon after Darth Maul shanked him?
I think I don't know. I don't know if
Maybe
Obi-Wan
he just had progressed far enough in the Force. Like
he was sick that day.
Boy, sometimes I wonder if like usage of the Force is inconsistent. You know,
I would say so.
It's almost like they write it around a situation.
Yeah, like oh no, we're stuck in quicksand. If only Rey was here to pull us all out with the Force when she was levitating earlier in the film, while swinging a bunch of boulders around in a molecule shape. You know, like
and then getting down ever so gracefully.
Yeah.
in the Phantom Menace, in the beginning, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan use the Force speed to get out of the way of battle droids because how else do we get them out?
Yeah.
They never use it again. Never.
Oh, we can only use this once, so we better make it good.
So maybe a good time for Obi-Wan to use it would have been at the end when those red shields were coming up.
Yeah.
Maybe that would have been a good time to
sometimes I do wonder,
possibly use that.
The Force can be inconsistent almost to the point to where it has to wrap itself around the plot of the film.
It's weird. It's almost like the Force was designed to be a plot.
It's almost like it's a form of magic
which is what blows my mind when people, are just like, oh, it's inconsistent or there's plot holes in it. Like every fucking Star Wars movie has plot holes, especially when you make sequel trilogies and prequel trilogies 30 years after.
Yeah.
Dude, if you want to watch like hard sci-fi, like super scientifically accurate, good luck. Like go watch like The Expanse or something, I guess.
Real science is dumb. Factual science.
Especially sci-fi from the 1970s. Like, they're literally, let's just put a bunch of robots and weird aliens and stuff in it and make it into, space knights and wizards. And
the factor that you bring up, the elapsed time between each trilogy is a good point because that
I don't know if I'm going to be alive for another trilogy.
That alone dictates how the trilogy happens because movies nowadays aren't really written the same way as they were in the 90s or the same way they were written in 1980. Writing a movie has evolved greatly. Like you would have an hour and a half movie of just like a kind of a straight plot with no depth, and now audience nowadays they demand a certain amount of depth to their movies. You can't just put Green Lantern out there and write what you want to write with like no significant depth to characters because people are going to go, that movie sucked. I felt nothing towards anything.
What about the Transformers franchise?
That's the magic of Michael Bay right there.
Well, in some ways,
big
too,
explosions, the shiny things.
Movies now are more about spectacle.
Yeah,
it's more about the spectacle and
although Star Wars was always about the spectacle.
Yeah. There's a interview clip I've seen with Anthony Mackie where he talks about how there isn't movie stars anymore. They're not movie stars, not like they were back then where you could sell a movie
on
off of it being Arnold Schwarzenegger or it being Sylvester Stallone or Patrick Swayze. Like that's
Anthony
not a thing
Hopkins.
anymore. You can't just put an actor in a movie and be like, people will see that. Will Smith's current track record is clearly proof of that.
Not to mention,
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, thank you.
Yep.
Saved me.
Names don't sell movies anymore.
Speaking of that, I had no interest in seeing Top Gun, the new Top Gun.
So you saw the trailer?
Until I seen like this little featurette in front of Star Wars where they showed how they put 3 IMAX cameras inside the cockpit and how when those shots are happening, it's actually them in a fighter jet being flown, pulling the G's that like a fighter jet pulls. It's not CGI. It's none of that. I was just like, fuck. They fucking got me. I'll fucking see the movie, assholes.
I think it's time we rate this movie. I feel like Jeff should start us off.
Okay. To be fair, I wasn't interested in seeing this film in the first place. I mean, I'm a Star Wars fan. Don't get me wrong. I was never really interested in them making a new trilogy. I, to this day, think it is literally there for the sole purpose of generating money. I think that's what Disney had in mind, and that's the only reason it's around. I don't think it had any artistic interest. Maybe, J.J. Abrams had an artistic interest, but I think, it's there to make money. I understand that going from the start. It had a lot of things I liked in it. I think this was the best portrayal of Kylo Ren so far, despite them having him put together his mask again just to break it again, just to sell toys. He didn't go shirtless, which made me angry, so there's points deducted for that. Rey I really liked in the film. I think they did the most character development with her for this. They took her in the direction J.J. Abrams presumably wanted to go. I felt like the plot just jumped all over the place just to progress the plot. Like there was like 5 MacGuffins in this movie. There was the Sith Wayfinder, the medallion that lets you travel wherever you want through light speed, the
knife,
the dagger, the other Sith Wayfinder. I was like, holy shit, man, how many MacGuffins can you fit in one film? These are all just nitpicks, though, because it's a space opera epic. I didn't think it was a bad movie. It didn't really do anything for me personally, but I enjoyed the experience of going with my friends to watch it. So I would say I'd give it a lukewarm reception, but like I would rather like
lukewarm.
But like honestly, like I would rather have just been at home watching The Mandalorian. I love The Mandalorian. I think it's it feels like Star Wars. This, on the other hand, doesn't feel like Star Wars to me personally. And like I like that everyone's enjoying it. It's it's not a bad movie. It just wasn't my cup of tea. So I guess I would give it 2 kissing lesbians out of nowhere out of 4.
50%.
Yeah, give it a 5.
I love how you just keep coming back to the lesbians.
Well, okay,
It really stuck with him.
It did. I was like, whoa!
And then the chair stuck to him.
All right, I'll change it to
as he put down his super loud MJR chair.
I did do that twice. They probably just thought it was a droid or something. I'll give it 5 slug guys repairing that Millennium Falcon without hands, going whoa out of 10.
All right, I'll go next. I'll let you close this one out.
The pressure's on.
for being a guy that hated the 2 prior movies to this one and not really being super excited until about 8 weeks ago when I started watching The Mandalorian. This movie was competent. It fulfilled what it needed to with what it had, like we've said probably about 3,000 times in this episode. I would say that it is my favorite installment out of the 3 of them, and what they ended up doing with the Rey character and the Kylo character really kind of brings new light to them, and the factor that they will probably increase in enjoyability in the other 2 movies for me. Loved the return of practical effects with CGI assist. That was a big fucking win for me. You don't see it enough nowadays. A lot less lens flare in this J.J. Abrams installment, which was fucking
pretty
great,
crazy, right?
Because that, like, the J.J. Abrams lens flare usually doesn't bother me, but in Force Awakens it was bothering the shit out of me.
It just doesn't feel in place.
Like
yeah.
it
bugged the shit out of me in Star Trek too.
In any sense of the form, it just didn't fit in Star Wars. It doesn't make any sense to me why it didn't, but it stuck out like a sore thumb. And the factor that it wasn't there this time was a giant plus in my book. And there wasn't as much unneeded slapstick comedy.
Oh god, that Marvel formula comedy is just
like
so shoehorned in.
Like the one that sticks out in my head the most is when Kylo Ren has his shirt off, and it feels like the serious moment. But then she goes, "Do you have like a towel or something?"
Yeah,
you put on?
like, yeah, thanks.
And it's just like, all right, you
ruined it.
You killed it. Like you killed the mood of what this was supposed to be. So there wasn't as much as that. And the factor that they got me on 2 fake out deaths, I give this movie a 6.5. And this was hard. I didn't know if it was gonna be a 6.5 or a 7, but a 6.5 out of 10 overly cute marketable droids.
I don't know what the ratio is on that.
It's a 65%.
Okay. I mean, like I said, I really enjoyed it. I actually went in this movie, as far as Star Wars movies go, I think I went in like the least excited. Like it wasn't like one of those things like where it was like with Avengers or something like that, where I'm like excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to go see it tonight. We're going to go see it tonight. Mm-hmm. It was just kind of like, oh yeah, we're going to do that. I forgot. Like it was just kind of this thing like, oh yeah, we're going to go do that. Like I had really no expectations or anything. I think just because The Last Jedi let me down so bad. But you know, I went out and really enjoyed it. Is there things that can be nitpicked out? For sure. Yeah. But that's like any movie. Like no movie is perfect. Like there's so many nitpicks.
Ernest scared stupid.
There's so many nitpicks that have come out of like Avengers Endgame at this point.
Oh yeah.
Like people have like the time travel stuff, like people have nitpicked it. Like if you want to overthink something, that's your own bag. Like,
thank you.
Like it's even happened with me on repeated viewings of like movies I've had forever. Like there'll be that one thing you're watching it that suddenly clicks in your brain and you go, wait a minute.
Kylo Ren's wearing a shirt.
But yeah, as I said, it did everything it needed to do that it was possible to do.
Yes.
I did definitely agree with that.
It gave me a satisfying ending. I liked seeing the yellow lightsaber at the end. That was really cool. Like finally a different colored lightsaber. The one looming thing that is always going to hang over this trilogy's head though, and I think it sits with a lot of people and it's never going to be able to be fixed or anything, is you never got that shot, and not like it was going to come in this movie either. You never got that shot of the original group together. Mm-hmm. And I think that forever will always just be one of those missed opportunities. You just go, oh, if only. Yeah. Like that, to me, that's the one thing that I think really hangs over. And I think that might be what maybe alienates a lot of people. A lot of diehard Star Wars fans is you've never got that reuniting.
I wonder if they did it on purpose to divert focus away from the original characters.
Maybe. There was never really a combined group in general. Like they never really worked together. Finn and Poe would work together and Finn and Rey would work together. But like there was no real chemistry with Poe and Rey. And then Han died. Mm-hmm. Chewie was the glue that held them all together.
The Chewie glue.
Chewie is the glue of it all. Chewie and R2 and C-3PO.
He's the real Jedi.
But no, I really liked it. I can't wait to watch it again, which is always a sign of a good thing. Mm-hmm. So I would give this movie 16 blinking Ewok eyes out of 20.
Hell yeah.
That seems right to me.
It's a fair set of eyes, a fair amount.
It's a fair amount of eyes.
8 pairs of eyes out of 10, not bad.
Yeah, there we go.
I like how we basically went up on a scale of like 1.5 to 2 with each review.
That's at 80%.
6.58.
Yeah, I would say a solid 80. It's a solid B.
Solid B.
It's a solid B movie. Like not B movie.
I wish I could have a solid B.
It's a solid B movie. Like, did it blow me away? No, but it checked all the boxes I wanted it to.
See, this is what I'm talking about. We gotta get better at this. There was one part where in the space battle where Poe's just given up. He's like, I thought we were gonna get it, and then you hear Lando come over the thing. He's like, oh, but there's all of us, and then it pans over the Star Destroyer to this fucking field of ships. That got me good.
I was like,
Lando, you son of a bitch, you did it.
If I watched it, and I was like, if I didn't know that this movie was already being made when it was released, it's a total fucking Endgame moment. Like that's exactly what that was. Like they tried to go. It didn't
Minus
get me.
portals.
It didn't get me as hard as the Endgame moment did.
Well, yeah.
But I was just kind of. I did have a moment of like, oh yeah. Especially when they showed Wedge
In the gunner for the Millennium Falcon, nonetheless. No, thank you.
That will conclude our review of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, this moment's gonna happen at the end of the movie. I thought it was gonna happen where they're Rey's fighting Palpatine, but then when like Kylo came good, I was like, oh, maybe they'll both say it. I thought the line was gonna be in there. What would be, I'm neither Sith nor Jedi. I am Skywalker. I thought that's what was gonna happen. Like Skywalker is gonna be a new term of Force people.
Yeah.
Like that's more of a gray Jedi than light or dark. So I was like, oh, I guess I shouldn't try to be such a smarty pants and predict where things are going.
No, you shouldn't. You should really stop that.
I think you should keep it up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Makes you look like a prick.
Be sure to check out this show every week over on the Pod Bros Podcasting Network, where you can find our show and plenty of other fantastic content. You can also find us over on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, Google Play, wherever podcasts are really listened to, honestly. We also have a YouTube channel that's still up and running at this moment, so you can head on over there and watch us do shit with toys. It sounds graphic.
Butt stuff.
If you are interested,
Pegging.
the outlook of YouTube is looking more positive than it was a month ago. Looks like the FTC is willing to kind of work with things.
Maybe play ball.
Play ball. YouTube is still being shady as shit. They're not really saying one thing or another.
Yeah, typical assholes.
Yeah.
Fucking YouTube sucks. Fucking thing sucks.
Listen, it's the only platform that I can upload in it.
Yeah, and they know. They know that for a
And it
fact.
uploads the first time, not the fucking 9th time.
That's true.
That's why things don't get posted to Facebook or Instagram, is because after the fucking 3rd time of it failing to upload, I say, fuck you, I'm not uploading it. Kiss my ass.
We also have a t-shirt account over on TeePublic where you can buy our t-shirts.
They also got pins and magnets too.
Pins, magnets, coffee mugs, hoodies.
Strap-ons.
One day.
One sweet day.
But no, all your Kapowcast swag, get on over there on TeePublic. They always run fantastic sales too, where you can I got 2 shirts pretty much for the price of 1.
Did you?
Pretty much, yeah.
What the fuck?
I don't know. It was when they were like 13 something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought like you meant you paid like you got like a BOGO.
No.
And I was like, I never get BOGOs.
Funny story. Where I work, a lot of times when they're running like buy one, get one, they ring up half price.
Oh.
So, because people always be like, sorry, that's supposed to be free. And you're like, no, it's ringing up half price, you twat.
You goddamn neckbeard.
Also, we do have affiliate links down below for Google and Entertainment Earth. We can click on over, buy yourself something special for the new year.
Not Google.
Not Google.
Amazon.
Thank you. It's been a very long couple days.
Wrong technology giant.
They haven't joined forces yet.
Oh God.
They might be able to take on Disney at that point.
That'd be scary.
The corporate wars, Cyberpunk 2077.
But I think that's everything.
I think you're right.
I think maybe.
Be sure to check us out next week for episode 199.
Oh, God,
Holy
Jeff.
shit.
200.
200.
Up and coming.
Our bicentennial.
It's going to be
I'm
terrible.
going to light off a bunch of fireworks in the basement.
I'll bring the fire extinguisher.
Good news, guys. I got this gigantic fountain firework from.
Let me show you something.
Is that our first Fire Marshal Bill reference?
No.
And it won't
Can't
be the last.
Until next time, I'm Mike.
I'm Tony.
And I am Jeff.
See you in 199.